Well, hi YouTubers, hi. I'm back with a 6 Mile 60 books, and this book is weird. It's weird. I'll read the blurb. Okay. To survive Henry VIII to be betrayed by love, The Sixth Wife by Suzannah Dunn. Here we go. Clever and compassionate, Katherine Parr, Henry VIII's sixth and final wife, survived their 4 turbulent years of marriage. But when the ambitious and handsome Thomas Seymour won her heart many months after the old king's death, the hasty union undid a life of caution. Katherine, Duchess of Suffolk, her best friend, is an unwilling witness to the Dowager Queen's late blossom in love, but actually harbours nagging suspicions of Kate's new husband. It gradually becomes clear that she has her own dark tale to tell. While Thomas might betray his wife for power, then calculating Kathy might betray her for passion. In times where indiscretion could mean arrest and death, Katherine Parr's tragedy plays out amongst those who loved and deceived her the most. As events reach an inevitable climax, it becomes clear that Kathy and Kate will risk all in a world where love is a luxury even royalty cannot always afford. Okay. This book is interesting because it's a story of the sixth wife of Henry VIII, Katherine Parr, but seen through the eyes of her best friend, Katherine. Right. Let me just and the weird thing is that it's told in flashback. It's told as the narrator looking back on the life of the last year of Katherine Parr. But the thing is, as it's done from one person's point of view, it's such an unreliable narrator that you sit there thinking that maybe the author, the actual character, is worse, and basically is trying to justify her actions in a better light than what she actually did, because what she does is actually quite despicable. Here we go. It actually staples us at Katherine Parr's funeral. Here you go. When the funeral was taking place, I stayed with the baby. I couldn't believe she was our conversation for Kate. Touch and an equal exchange. She was like something skinned. She was nothing like my boys who'd been born big and with frank focused gazes. But then they were the boys. But then they were boys from their first moments. The world was theirs for the taking. The baby was unsettled. With everyone at the chapel, the house was deserted. I'd never been so alone. Let's keep walking, and that entire two died. From starvation or exhaustion, or perhaps sheer loneliness. Can you die from loneliness? That. So basically, Katherine Parr's dead. The baby that no one, historians I believe survived long after her death, that she was pregnant with, walking around with it, and it seems to kind of justify her actions as well by what she does. I mean, in this bit here, if she never married Thomas, Kate would still be alive. She should have stayed a widow the last time. The king's death had been a third widowing and made her Dowager Queen. I've been around while Henry was dying in case she needed me, but it so happened that I wasn't with her when they finally came with the news. Going to the garden to take a few minutes to myself. When I returned to her room unawares, she had asked everyone to leave us. Yeah. So basically, justifying the actions. If she'd never married him, if she never married Henry, if she never married Thomas, she'd just done this, she'd just been a Dowager Queen, and that'll be it. But no, of course not. That's define her actions, because in this world of court, this Katherine does something wicked. That's the thing. Kathy is Kathy. Yeah, Katherine Duchess of Suffolk does something wicked to Katherine Parr. Okay. Katherine Duchess of Suffolk sleeps with Thomas Seymour. Has an affair with Thomas Seymour. Yeah. But then she drops lines like this. Kate, oh Kate, I loved her more than ever. I told myself I ached to tell her what was happening. To tell her not as his wife. I didn't want to tell her that her husband was deceiving her, but as my best friend, once or twice I even found myself turning around guileless to confide. Kate, guess what? It's odd to me. As though in a way she didn't already know that she couldn't detect what was happening. I felt as if everyone that day surely could see it on me, but equally of me. Yeah, exactly. I talk about how to prevent pregnancy. So she's sleeping with Thomas Seymour, while she's best friends with Kate, who's pregnant, by the way, with Thomas Seymour's child, and she's justifying her actions every single time what a good person she is, basically, even though she's anything but. She's anything but. She's a horrible person, she's a deceiver. And the thing is, the fact is, this is a bit is true, okay, is when Elizabeth, future Queen of England, is out, as is another future Queen of England, briefly for Lion Days, Lady Jane Grey. And they're talking about the game that Thomas Seymour plays on Elizabeth, basically trying to get hold of Elizabeth, okay, a future Queen of England. Tickling, Kate stopped, reached under bedclothes, and then she stopped. Tickling, I said to myself, and I myself, Thomas, really honestly, you do push it, don't you? Oh, this was easy. You didn't have any feelings whatsoever about her. It was pre-practical consideration. Kate, I stress, he probably doesn't need to be more careful, doesn't he? Surely there was no denying it. He means no harm, Kathy, the Dowager Queen said, making clear that she was finished, that the subject was closed. Yeah, so Tom's playing a dangerous game. He's got the Dowager Queen pregnant, okay? He's basically trying it on with Princess Elizabeth, future Queen of England, and he's having an affair with the Duchess of Suffolk. Horrible people doing horrible things, and essentially Elizabeth and the Dowager Queen are the victims. But the things about this book, though, is it seems to kind of drop in about these horrible people and these horrible Elizabethan court. Suddenly, it kind of drops in a mention of kind of 21st century mentality in regards to women and men. Here we go. I've always believed that a woman can, in principle, learn and think as well as a man. Maybe it's because I've never had a brother. I was never second best. You call that luck. Well, it was unlucky, though, that I had never had the education that a brother might have held. Or my mother had excellent intention, but circumstances overtook her, and that my education was no longer in her hands. In any case, I doubt her heart would have been in it by then. A heart had followed Queen Katherine into banishment, on her own spectacular cleverness, and ended up counting for nothing. It's become middle-aged women from a forgotten castle, required to live on meagre supplies in disused castles. So, forgotten country. Required to live on meagre supplies in disused castles. Yeah, education was a priority. And then I had like children of 14 or 15, dropping this line, okay, about what's it like to be a woman. That's the thing, that's the problem with this book. The dialogue feels a little bit too modern times. The situations, where they're dropping a line, okay, about women and power and education. But the thing is, this is a book where horrible people doing horrible things. It seems kind of cut, a bit disjointed at times. But then, this is when I think that Kathy, the Dowager Suffolk, Duchess of Suffolk, does the ultimate betrayal. This is what she does to Thomas Seymour. Okay. I knew him, Kathy. It was Thomas. She knew him well enough to recognise that in the darkness, of course, an angel merged and was silent as a silhouette. Asked what she was going to do. Speak to Thomas. What on earth would he say? He was lucky not to lie, but tell someone close to the truth. Panic battered in my heart because there was no way to escape but their familiarity. The wire sparked an idea, and there it was, bright insistent Elizabeth. It was Elizabeth who'd been unfamiliar with Thomas, and now this is kissing. He might believe it of her. But no, I couldn't. Could I? You don't think it was Elizabeth, do you? I only put it to her as an idea. Didn't claim it was Elizabeth. When I've dead, I started wondering about whether to say anything at all, as I somehow gone ahead and voiced it, and it sounded properly attentive. Shoot blank, Elizabeth. What had I done? My stepdaughter, my 14-year-old stepdaughter. There had been a shift. Thomas was now accused. The accusation was out of my hands, and her life of its own. It was complicated. I could easily be exposed as nonsense. I almost said it might not have been Elizabeth. So basically, the Dowager Queen catches, sees Thomas with someone, and then the woman who was actually having the affair says, oh no, it wasn't, it was probably Elizabeth. An action which will send Thomas Seymour's to his eventual fate. Now obviously it is all fiction after all, but I was like, what a bitch. What an absolute bitch. So yeah, overall, because okay. I've read better ones, but I like the fact, okay, it was the lives of the courtiers, as in with someone else's eyes, more outside looking in, kind of thing. It's all total fiction, by the way, but I've got to admit, it's nice to see a different kind of take on women in the Elizabethan times, or Tudor times, if you will. So yeah, so it wasn't bad. Anyway, sign off here. Here's my 60 books and sign off. And bye now.